Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to the broadcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am John Pace, aka Mr. Inspiration. That's right, Mr. Inspiration, and I'm happy to be here with you again for another episode. I'm here to inspire, encourage, and motivate you into the next place and season of your life. Listen, I've been unpacking this meditation. I've been meditating on this thing. I tell you, it is, I keep getting more content the more I meditate on the phrase. You know, the phrase we're dealing with right now. What happens next is up to you. I'm going to tell you a story about me. And for any of you who have followed me for any length of time, you know that I am a thespian. My mother, when I was early in my childhood, around 5, 6, 7, 8 of that nature, my mother worked at Spelman College as the curator of the Baldwin Bureau's library there. So I was introduced to the drama department, right? And in so being, my mother registered me every summer for the dance and theater classes over at Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm a thespian. And so I built on that over the years and have been able to do live plays, act in some plays, a few short films, things of that nature. And on top of that, obviously, I've become a public speaker. So I've, over the years, developed my gift, the craft of public speaking and being on stage presence, and all of those elements. However, there was one year where I I wanted to try my hand at comedy. Right? I've been writing a few sets for a few people, and the sets went off pretty well. I did some private things myself, and they went off pretty well. And so this one year, I had an event, a big event, and I invited a few other comedians, and I, um, you know. Um, as presumptuous as I was, made myself the headliner. Right? I made myself the headliner. I had all of the other people that should have been the headliners. I made myself the headliner and made them introduce me. Make a long story short, I got out on stage. They had the other few comedians who had come before me. They had done a stand-up job, a killer job. I mean, they had the energy in the room so high. I come out on stage thinking I'm gonna crash it, and I got crickets. No, I mean I got crickets. Not only did I get crickets for the first few minutes, but 3 or 4 minutes into it, it went from crickets to booze. I mean, booze. One of the other comedians had to come out and start a whole nother set to save the show. And the reason I'm telling you this testimony is because I've been meditating on this idea about what happens next is up to you. And today I want to focus on the idea of bouncing back from a bad performance. Right, bouncing back from a bad performance. It was devastating to me. I mean, I had been extremely successful as a thespian on stage for theater, public speaking in every sort of formats, from TED Talks to preaching to teaching to doing seminars, just killing it. But when I tried my hand at comedy the first time, well, not the first time, but the first time on a big stage, I bombed. I mean, I bombed, right? So obviously I've bounced back from that, but I think about, with this idea in mind, what happens next is up to you, that I could have allowed the booze to back me up. I could have allowed the booze I experienced on that major platform to back me up from comedy altogether. I could have actually done that. Instead, remember, what happens next is up to you. And for some of you, there is a next. I want to say this to you. There is a next after a bad performance. The only way there is not a next, the only way there wouldn't have been another next for me. And by the way, I have done half a dozen more comedy sets since then, since the set that I got booed off stage. I've done several different sets since then, and I'm really considering writing material now as we speak. to get back out and to do some more comedy, the first thing that I had to do to overcome the booze, to bounce back from the booze, was to take the feedback. Right, I had to take the feedback. It was incredible. The comedians that I brought in to do the show with me gave me very good feedback. I accepted the feedback. I analyzed the show. I was able to look at it afterwards. I analyzed. I found out where my mistakes were. And to be quite frankly, to be honest with you, the truth is when I got the feedback from them, the reality simply was that I wasn't prepared. I mean, I've been killing it on stage, killing it preaching, killing it, speaking. So I figure comedy can't be, I've written sets for people. I mean, I've done some private things. I thought I was pretty funny. So I really didn't prepare for that moment when I should have prepared for that moment. So what happens next is up to you. I received the feedback. I grew. I took the time to improve in the area of comedy. Although I felt like I was knocking it out the park as an actor in stage plays, although I knew without a shadow of a doubt, I had confidence to preach to masses of people, to teach in seminars, right, to do TED Talks on major stages. I had not yet developed the competence, full competence and confidence to get on the stage in front of an audience that I had to make laugh. Now, I could have allowed the booze to back me up. I could have allowed the silence to set me back. But instead, I took the feedback. I took time to improve specifically in this area of my communication. And then I worked very hard and prepared for the next opportunity I had on stage. I want to say this to you before I close today. Remember the idea, the frame of thought is what happens next is up to you. I could have laid down in silence after the booze. I could have backed all the way up from comedy, not written anymore, not did any more comedy sets. I could have done that. Instead of me saying, I'm killing my comedy career, I decided to improve my sets, improve myself, right? And to catch amnesia, in so many words, from the set that I did, opposed to looking at the set and being depressed by or discouraged by my inability to perform at a level. I took the old set, learned from it, took the feedback, improved from it, and worked very diligently so that I would take the next stage opportunity I had to do another comedy set. What is the word today? The word is simply this: you can bounce back from a bad performance in your life. That's right. You can bounce back from a bad performance in every area of your life. Maybe on your job, you didn't make your numbers one month. It doesn't mean that you commit a professional suicide and quit the job. Maybe in a relationship, you didn't do a particular thing a particular way, and you felt bad about your performance in that particular manner. It doesn't matter whatever the case may be. It is possible for us and you and me and we and us to bounce back from a bad performance. But remember, what happens next is up to us. We can have bad performances in life, and what we decide to do on the heels of the bad performance is going to determine if there is even a next in store. I want to inspire you today. I hope my story inspires you, because it is inevitable. It took years for me to finally have a bad speaking or communication situation where I just did not communicate well. And it could have sidelined my entire speaking career. But instead, what I did, remember, what happens next is up to you. Because I took ownership of the bad performance, right? Because I was reflective and allowed feedback from the booze. Because I didn't allow the silence to set me back. I was able to get back out on the stage and do another comedy set. And after that comedy set, at least half a dozen after, I bounced back from the bad set that I had. It's possible, family. It's possible for us to bounce back from bad performances every once in a while. Even when you do something you do well, you may not do it as good as you could have done it before. But don't be discouraged. It happens to everybody. And you can, just like I did. I bounced back from that thing, man. So much so that, again, like I said, half a dozen other stand-up sets I did after that. And I'm writing some material right now to possibly have comedy nights in my studio here in Toledo. So I am so excited about all the potential. If you've got gifts and talents in you, man, listen, develop every one of them. Don't shortchange yourself. If you're a multi-talented person, then embrace the multi-talentedness that God has graced you with, and don't let people talk about you. All right, I'm done for today. I'll come back tomorrow or the next day and talk about this. Remember, the prevailing thought is what happens next is up to you. What happens next after a bad performance is really up to you. You can quit. You can fold. You can tuck and hide. You can never try to do it again. But family, that doesn't build character. That doesn't position you for all of the things you have the capacity to do. Accept the feedback. Improve on what it is you failed at the first time, and be prepared the next time you have an opportunity to do it. And I'm telling you, just like I did, you're going to rock it. You're going to go from bombing it to rocking it. You're going to go from dead silence to them shouting encore, encore, encore. All right. I'm John Pace again, and I'm so excited, AKA Mr. Inspiration. Mr. Inspiration. I'm so thankful, so excited to have an opportunity to inspire you, encourage you, and motivate you into the next place of purpose and destiny in your life. Until the next episode, be inspired. Peace.